Mr. Jaria, for the kind introduction. Except that probably one correction. The journal is actually the flagship journal for the university and not simply the department. Anyway, yeah, and in terms of that journal, we'll be publishing it either today or tomorrow. We've just got the typeset. And I would like to invite you to also have a look at the journal later. The title is Intellectual Discourse. Okay, I'm given this topic, and I believe, like all of you, I'm also still learning about this topic, this area, geopolitics of the Muslim world, and I try my best to provide you with some important aspects, okay, of geopolitics in the Muslim world. Now, in terms of content, what I'm going to talk today would be firstly about the concept of geopolitics, and then two concepts that are related to this, also from Islamic perspective, the concept of Ummah and Khilafah. Then I'll be talking in general about the Muslim world, some organizations among the Muslim states, our political or geopolitical challenges, and finally the conclusion. Okay, to begin with, let's discuss geopolitics. Okay, and I think you find two words there, geo and politics. Initially, there was this discipline or area, sub-area within international relations that was known as political geography. But over time, okay, the evolution of political geography would bring this sub-area, okay, to be known as geopolitics, because political geography has an emphasis on geography, but in the study of international politics or international relations, of course, we want to see the politics, okay, of these different geographical areas. So the nature of international relations itself is very, how shall we say, multidisciplinary. Okay, and in there we have, for example, the study not only of politics but also regarding law, economics, history, geography. So it is in fact, okay, a multidisciplinary area. In fact, in some universities, they have changed the name from simply international relations or international politics to now become global studies, okay, or global politics. Now, the word geopolitics, in fact, refer to politics, or especially international relations, as influenced by geographical factors. Okay, to look at how the geography of these states, for example, affected, okay, their politics and also their international relations with other states. Now, so geopolitics helps us to understand the forces and also arrangements that transform the map of the world. I think if you look at the world's political map today, it is quite stable. But let's say if you look back at some years ago, almost a quarter century ago, in 1990, for example, there were changes in the boundaries of states. States merge, or a big state disintegrated. So there are, of course, okay, this transformation in the map of the world. Now, central to the concept of geopolitics, okay, is the concept of power. Okay, in fact, in the study of international relations or international politics, the thinking about politics has always been about the struggle for power. Okay, one of the earlier scholars, a very prominent scholar of international relations by the name of Hans Morgenthau, for example, writes that international politics, like all politics, okay, is the struggle for power. Now, and when we talk about power, of course, this is a very complex concept. In fact, it has different interpretations, okay, and there is no one definition that can really capture, okay, the concept of power. Power, of course, is about influence. Power is also about, let's say, elements or the characteristics that states have. There are tangible elements of power. There are intangible elements of power. Tangible elements of power like size, population, for example, military capacity, economic capacity, and so on and so forth. Intangible elements of power would include something like leadership, the types of government, bureaucracy of a state. So all these elements, okay, together capture, okay, the extent of power, okay, that a state has. And despite the fact that we say power as influence or power as capacity, we have to also acknowledge that power is relative, okay, because there are instances in the international history, for example, where we see even a very powerful state, a superpower, for example, could not defeat, okay, a smaller or weaker state, as in the case of the US in Vietnam or the Soviet Union in Afghanistan. Now, and when we talk about the power of the Muslim states, because at some points of the world history, Muslim caliphates were among the major powers in international politics. This can be seen, for example, during the Abbasid and the Osmanli caliphate. In fact, at different points in history in the 18th, 19th century, the Osmanli was considered to be one of the great powers in Europe, okay, together with Britain, France, Russia, Germany, and Austria-Hungary. But of course, the extent of power of the Osmanli Caliphate also fluctuated during that time. Coming to our contemporary era, of course, we can say that currently no Muslim states can be considered, okay, as an important power internationally. And in fact, in international politics, okay, there are categories of power. In our international relations today, okay, we tend to say that the system is unipolar, moving toward a bipolar world, okay, where, with the rise of China as the other pole of power that challenge the American power. But in addition to this great power category, we have also this category of middle powers. Probably some of the Muslim states can be considered as such. Indonesia and Malaysia in Southeast Asia, for example, Turkey or among, not necessarily in Europe, but especially in the region we now refer to as the Middle East, because some scholars have also considered Turkey to be part of the Middle East. And this is part of political geography or geopolitics in that sense. Okay, where do we locate, okay, this country within the geographical category? And there are also some important powers like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. But none have actually or none can be considered, okay, as great powers. And in fact, most of the Muslim states, okay, can also be considered as the small powers. Now, now let's look at one concept, okay, in the Holy Quran, okay, and Ummah, and I think probably in some of your classes before this has been discussed. But I'm looking at the concept of Ummah, okay, as this community of Muslims, okay. So the word Ummah is mentioned 64 times in the Holy Quran, in both the singular and plural forms. In singular form, this has been mentioned 51 times. In plural form, it has been mentioned 13 times. Now, it has multiple meanings in the Quran, including Ummah as nation, Ummah as a religious community, as a group of people, Ummah as a period of time, and Ummah even as religion. So it has different meanings depending on the context. The word Ummah, okay, is used in the Holy Quran. So the meaning of the word Ummah, okay, has changed or changes, okay, throughout the Quran. When it first appears, the word means kaum, okay, or people. The Quran also states that each ummah has a messenger, okay, Prophet Musa alayhi salam, Prophet Isa alayhi salam, who relays a divine message to the nation. Also, the Quran mentions ummah in relation to the concept of humanity. There's a verse that states that all of humanity was once a single ummah, okay, but later began to have different views. So the word ummah, okay, is therefore a significant term in Islam, and it's also mentioned in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, refers to a group of people who share a common religious, linguistic, or ethical identity. The Quran states that each ummah is a messenger who relays a divine message to the nation. Now, the reason I'm putting forward, okay, this concept of ummah as a context, okay, is to show that there is this call, okay, for unity among this religious community. So we submit, okay, to the one God, to Allah. Allah is one, okay, and the concept of oneness of Tawheed also applies in that sense. Okay, the Tawhidic paradigm therefore asks us, okay, the Muslims, okay, to unite among ourselves. Now, throughout the history of Islam, okay, until 1924, of the Common Era, at least, okay, there had been this manifestation, okay, of the unity, because the political unit or the polity after the demise of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, okay, had been ruled by one single authority. So this can be seen during the caliphate of the Rashidun, the Umayyad, the Abbasid, and the Osmani, and there was also this Ismaili Shi'i caliphate, okay, the Fatimid caliphate between the year 909 to 1171. So the Osmani fell officially in 1924. It was one of the warring parties, okay, during World War One, and unfortunately, of course, the Osmanlis sided, okay, with the alliance that lost the war. And as a result of this, okay, the Ummah disintegrated, and the Muslim communities throughout the world had been now, how shall we say, organized, okay, along the nation state. So we therefore now adopted, okay, the modern nation state system. A system from the Western intellectual history, okay, dated back to the 17th century, specifically in 1648 with the signing of the Treaty or the Peace of Westphalia. Now, one of the consequences, okay, of the Treaty of Westphalia was the creation of sovereign states. Yeah. And of course, that is not to say that immediately post 1648 all states become sovereign. It was a gradual process, but eventually we have nation states that are founded, okay, on four elements, in terms of territory, in terms of population, in terms of the governmental system, okay, and also independence, yeah, or what we call sovereignty. And most Muslim states, okay, become this part of the modern nation state system after the fall of the caliphate. Now, the question is whether we can go back, okay, to the caliphate system. There have been some movements that work toward this area, and they have, of course, different approaches, okay, on how to come back, okay, to this old to this caliphate system. But that said, okay, it's not simply that we want to accept this modern nation state system, but this is the reality, okay, that all Muslim states, okay, have to work with. Now coming to the Muslim world, okay, and this is one map, okay, that depicts the Muslim world. Of course, Muslims are all over the world, and in fact, if you do an internet search, okay, and ask this question, in which states we don't have Muslims, the answer would be probably one, okay, that is in the Vatican City, but they are all over the world. But in terms of concentration, the ones in green, okay, are states that have more than 50% population. The ones in yellow, okay, had Muslim population between 10 to 50%. Okay, so most Muslim states are concentrated in Asia. In Asia and Africa. Okay, and there are also a few Muslim majority states in Europe, and in addition to that, of course, in Central Asia and the Caucasus. Now, there are approximately 1.9 billion Muslims, about nearly 2 billion Muslims now. Okay, and they make up nearly a quarter of the world's population. At present, there are about 24.1% Muslims, okay, all over the world. Muslims are majority in 49 countries, okay, and they make up the majority of the population in 91% of the Middle East North Africa region, or MENA, 90% of Central Asia, 65% of states of the Caucasus, 42% of Southeast Asia, 32% of South Asia, and about 42% of Sub-Saharan Africa. So these are the major areas, okay, where Muslims can make up the majority of the population in the state. Islam is also the world's fastest growing religion, according to this Pew Research Center survey organization in the United States. It predicts that the Muslim population, based on the current trend, will grow faster, okay, than the Christian population, mainly due to the fact that they have higher fertility rates and a younger average age. Muslims, okay, also speak hundreds of languages and come from diverse ethnic backgrounds. Okay, and of course, I'm sure we are aware of all of this. Now, the importance of the Muslim states, okay, can be seen in the fact that they are also endowed, okay, with key waterways such as the Dardanelles, the Straits of Malacca, the Bab el Mandab, the Suez Canal, and the Straits of Hormuz, meaning they control, okay, some of the key waterways in the world. Muslim states are endowed also with enormous hydrocarbon and forest reserves, and own between 66.2 to 75.9% of the total world oil reserve. Okay? This can be found in Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, the UAE, Qatar, Yemen, Libya, Nigeria, Algeria, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, Malaysia also, Indonesia, and Brunei. So in terms of resources, okay, Muslim states are actually not short, okay, of these resources. Now, coming to our contemporary international politics, okay, and for that, we are talking about, okay, the world after the Cold War. The Cold War between 1945 to about 1991, okay, was marked with the ideological and superpower conflicts between the United States and the Soviet Union. After the Cold War has ended, okay, some scholars have come out with different takes, okay, on how the world would be, okay, after the Cold War has ended. And I think there are three major contributions, okay, by Western scholars on this. One was to suggest that probably history has ended, okay, and this is through the work by Francis Fukuyama, who suggested that since the conflict between liberalism and socialism ended, okay, with the fall of socialism, we can expect, okay, the spread of liberalism throughout the world. The end of history was his take on generally the flaws, okay, of the Marxian from Karl Marx, okay, Karl Marx's idea about the dialectic materialism of historical evolution, where he said that history is marked by conflicts, okay, or the interaction between thesis and antithesis, and since liberalism no longer has an antithesis, so the way forward would be to see liberalism triumphs in international politics. Yet another scholar, Benjamin Barber, looked at, okay, this decline, okay, of nation states. Nation states will no longer probably have the same power, that they used to have. So, in his work entitled Jihad versus Macworld, he suggested that nation states are declining, okay, and what we will be seeing will be the conflicting pools, okay, of, on the one hand, tribalism. This was what he referred to as jihad, not jihad as understood by the Muslims, and globalism, Macworld, okay, borrowing from the idea of from McDonald's. Okay, so the the world therefore, okay, would see this conflict, okay, between two strong pools, okay, of one tribalism and another globalism. Okay, and in that process, probably the significance, okay, of nation states would decline. Yet another stage, okay, and this the third one is this work by this international relations scholars by the name of Samuel Huntington, and I think you're familiar with this work, The Clash of Civilizations, in which he suggested that the world after the Cold War has ended, okay, would be divided to 7 or 8 civilizations, according to him. Among others, the Western civilization, the Islamic civilization, Japanese, Hindu, Confucian, and others. And his thesis was that the war in the future, okay, would be between the West and Islam, okay, the Western and Islamic civilization. So the main idea behind this thinking was that just because the Cold War has ended, okay, it does not mean that conflicts as experienced during the Cold War, okay, would simply stop. Okay, but meaning to say that there will be a new type of conflict, and the conflict will be cultural, okay, or what he called civilizational. So this is actually the context, okay, of the world that we are living in. Now, so quickly going to Islamic organizations among the Muslim states. We are familiar with the OIC. Okay, when it was first established, it was called the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. But there was a change of name and the charter of the organization, if I'm not mistaken, in 2008, and now it is called, okay, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. This is actually the second largest intergovernmental organization after the United Nations. So just by looking at it, okay, at this fact, okay, we see that it is significant and it has potential, okay, to be an influential international organization. It has 57 members, okay, covering 4 continents. This is the collective voice of the Muslim world, okay, not only as a religious-based organization, okay, but also to safeguard the interests in economic, social, and political areas. The OIC, okay, has its own organizational structure. The headquarters is in Jeddah, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In terms of the role of the OIC, if you look at the charter, okay, of the OIC, it uses the word Ummah, Um, but it does not denote the entire Muslim community united and functioning as a single political unit. In reality, of course, the OIC is just like any other international organizations. This is an organization of sovereign Muslim nation states. Yeah. So um, this is the fact. This is the organization where members, okay, of this organization come from uh, nation states, overwhelming majority of whom, okay, are Muslim majorities. Um, Now, so despite the aspiration, okay, to have one ummah, the reality is that even during the Cold War, the Muslim states were also divided into three camps: some pro US, some pro Soviet Union, while others take a non-aligned stance, like let's say Indonesia and Malaysia in this region. It is a transnational religious actor, and the critics or criticisms, okay, against the OIC is that it has, or it is simply a symbolic meeting place. It is not yet, okay, a dynamic political body. Okay, it has quite a disappointing record. It's driven by infighting, power struggles, uh, and the organization so far, okay, has failed to articulate clear and consistent policies. Now, um, so the thinking that OIC is homogeneous, that Muslim states is homogeneous, um, created this perception, okay, among some Western observers that the OIC would probably encourages Islamic fundamentalism, but I think we know that this is flawed because in some instances, okay, OIC members are frequently at each other's throat, okay, on the matter. Um, it has, of course, this potential to be effective, okay, because of some commonalities. We have common, almost common history. We have, of course, common religion, and we share also contemporary grievances, okay, against unequal economic and cultural power relations among the OIC. Uh, sorry, against some unequal economic and cultural power relationships. So there are prospects, okay, to be more effective. The challenge now is how to actually get common grounds, okay, and common stance on international issues. Among the more difficult role for the OIC to play is with the nearly one-third of the world's total Muslims who live as a minority in various countries of the world. I think one of the topics from political science was Muslim minorities, and I think you have seen this, okay, and the OIC finds it difficult, of course, to deal with this. Examples include Kashmir, southern Philippines, southern Thailand, for that matter, India, Bulgaria, and a few other countries. So actions by OIC has been selective and also tentative, and this needed to be addressed. So the OIC still cannot speak in one voice, and this is part of the consequences, okay, of the nation-state system, because nation-states seem to have their own interests, okay, and primary among them, okay, is for their own survival. So because of these complexities, okay, it is of course difficult for them to speak in one voice. Um, there are also issues like poverty, Islamophobia, educational standards, social development in the Muslim world. These are areas where we see some improvement, okay, where the OIC has now begun to speak with one voice. Now, other international organizations among the Muslim states would include the Arab League, or formerly the League of the Arab States, the Gulf Cooperation Council, and also this D8, okay, or the short for developing aid. So this is a small step, I think, toward greater cooperation in the Muslim world. The D8 organization, or the D8 Organization for Economic Cooperation, simply known as D8, a global organization that works to improve standards of living and economic position of its member countries. And the areas of cooperation include trade, research and innovation, humanitarian development, cooperation in youth development, energy and minerals, and also industrial cooperation. Now, the members of the eight are, in terms of alphabetical order, Bangladesh, Egypt, Indonesia, Iran, Malaysia, Nigeria, Pakistan, and Turkey. So we see representation of Southeast Asia, of South Asia, the Middle East, okay, and also Africa, okay, in this organization. And they are starting small, okay, especially in terms of trying to improve, okay, trade relations among themselves. Now, some of our current geopolitical changes, okay, include Palestine. This is something that has gone on, okay, for a long time. It had, of course, its origin in terms of the fall of the Osmani Caliphate, okay, and the mandate system that was established under the League of Nations, and we see Israeli aggression, but we also see that the solution, okay, to this problem could not be reached, okay, until today. We see also some intrastate conflicts, okay, especially the conflict in Syria, okay, where eventually there was a change of regime. Other challenges included Iran, and Iran is a subject of threat perception, okay, by the West, and America, Europe, for example, see Iranian nuclear ambition as something that can upset, okay, the balance of power in international politics. There's also this concern about Turkey, okay, or Turkey becoming leader of the Muslim world. Of course, among Muslim states, probably we don't have this consensus, but there is this perception in the West, okay, that Turkey or Turkey, okay, is trying to position itself, okay, as the leader of the Muslim world. There are also concerns regarding terrorism, regarding violent extremism in the Muslim states, okay, and this could also spread, okay, to others. But at the same time, you see also some states that have this moderating influence among the Muslim states, especially when you look at Malaysia and Indonesia. Also, the question of how do we Muslim states, face the current geopolitical challenges, in the face of US-China rivalry and now also Russia, in terms of power competition. So my conclusion is that OIC should be revamped, should be reformed to play more dynamic role. Muslim states probably still lack hard power, but we can use some soft power, the power of influence or cultural, how shall we say, we can export, the Islamic culture, the culture of peace, not only among Muslim countries, but also outside them, and also to use what some scholars call smart power, meaning the mix, between hard and soft, and also with the power of current technology. So there is a need to increase trade, and one of the implications of increasing trade, is that it can it has this effect, of furthering cooperation, and spread a sense of peace among the Muslim states. And of course, there's a serious need for the Muslim states to begin speaking in one voice. I'm sorry, I've been, I think, quite quick in my delivery, but this is what I wanted to share, and we also, and I can discuss if there are questions from participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. for sharing today. Now we open for Q&A. I'm checking on the chat box, Doctor.
I'm looking at the chat box. Oh, I'm also surprised that that some of you haven't heard of D8, but I think most of us here in Malaysia is aware, because this is something that that we read in the news, and I think our leaders are very enthusiastic about strengthening, especially trade relations among these Muslim majority states in D8.
Okay, Dr. Ahmad Lubis, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah, thanks for the interesting presentation. I just like to ask you, we have OIC, right? And also we know OECD. In OECD, they developed that kind of organization and then showing how to develop the countries inside. Is there any possibility for OIC to really, give some, showing how to develop Muslim countries through showing the various activities like economics and then education and everything shown by the OIC to show how to develop the countries. You know what I mean? You can open the OECD, many things you can see And then many people, many countries also take a look at OECD as a reference to develop many things inside each country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmad Lubis. Interesting question. But if we look back at the OIC, okay, and look at how OIC was established, the context of the establishment of the OIC initially was reactionary, okay, because reactions towards the non-action, okay, against aggression in Palestine. So in that sense, before that, there was no realization among Muslim states, okay, to have cooperation among themselves. Okay? And in its early years, okay, there was not much cooperation among themselves. Meetings are not regular, so there was no unity in that sense. But that said, okay, Muslim states can learn from the experience, okay, of some of its members on how to reform the organization. Okay, and I'm looking at this effort by D8. Okay, of course, this is new, and even when you look, let's say, at the experience of Europe, EU, okay, was not established simply just like that. Okay, meaning many members, okay, and cooperate in many areas. What EU had done, okay, was actually to start small. There was only 6 states initially, and their cooperation was simply on coal and steel. So, if there is anything to learn, okay, from this experience, is for probably, since we already have this organization, start small again, and D8 probably can play a significant role, establish more economic cooperation among themselves. Okay, start with non-sensitive areas, okay, and then expand it, okay, and eventually probably integrate this organization to the OIC to also work on the more political sensitive areas and begin to actually find common voice on international issues. Okay, so I think the idea is to focus, okay, on one small area, okay, and with the hope that eventually it will spill over to some other areas. This is the only, one of the ways that I think.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Okay. There is many questions here, but because of the time, if Doctor have time, you can answer by typing in the chat box, Doctor.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you very much.